Student Scholars in association with Goa Headmasters Association.
Hello students, today we will learn about a new chapter, that is polynomials. Okay? So what is polynomial? We have learned this polynomial since from 8th standard. So let's have a recall what is polynomial. If you see on the screen, polynomial contains variables, that is x, y, z. It contains coefficients. Every variable is having coefficients, that is the number or integers. It also contains operations, plus, minus, multiplication. And the most important part is non-negative exponents of variable. So whichever variables are there, the power of it should be always positive. So this is what we have learned basically about polynomials. Okay, in 8th standard we had learned about this polynomials. There are different types of polynomial. The first one is monomial. Monomial means the polynomial which contains only one term. For example, x. It contains only one term, so it is called as monomial. Second is binomial. Bi means two terms. For example, I have given here 3x plus 6y. This contains two terms, that's why it is called binomial. Third one is trinomial. The word tri itself suggests that it contains three terms. So it has three terms here, for example 2x minus y plus 6. We also learned something called as zero polynomial in the lower classes. Zero which has only 0 as a term. So this polynomial will be called as zero polynomial. And the last one is constant. Constant means it will have any one integer, maybe negative, positive. So this is called constant polynomial. We learned one more thing about is that polynomials in one variable and their degrees. We learned specifically about polynomials in one variable. Either it is x or y or z, just one variable. So let's have a look. A polynomial of degree 1 is called a linear polynomial. Now degree, if we recall back, degree is the highest power of that variable in that polynomial. For example, 4x plus 2. Here the variable is x and the highest power of this x is 1. That's why this is called a linear polynomial. We also learned about a polynomial of degree 2 is called a quadratic polynomial. So in this case, the polynomial highest power of that variable will be 2. Now if you see in the equation, in two places you can see the variable, here x, also here. But the power of this variable is 1 and the power of this variable is 2. So we consider always the highest power. That's why this example is of quadratic polynomial. Next on the list we have a polynomial of degree 3 is called a cubic polynomial. So the highest degree of that polynomial will be 3. So example is here 2x cube minus 5x plus 11. Again here we have in two places we have variable x with power 3 and here x with power 1. So the highest power is 3. That's why we call this polynomial as cubic polynomial. So students, all these things we learned in the lower classes regarding the polynomials. The next important topic now is that value of polynomial. What do you mean by value? A certain value or alpha will be given to you, a certain integer. You have to substitute that value in that polynomial and get the answer. That will be the value of that polynomial. For example, if you have a polynomial p of x and some alpha value is given to you, then how do you find the value of that polynomial? It will be P of alpha. That is, you are replacing x variable with the given number alpha. Let's have a look at this statement. If P of x is a polynomial and alpha is any real number will be given to you, then the value obtained by replacing x by alpha, this is very important. You have to replace every x, every variable in the polynomial by given alpha in P of x. P of x is a polynomial. Is called the value of P of x at x equal to alpha, and it is denoted by P of alpha. So this shows that this x is replaced by alpha and we get the value. Let's have a look at some of the examples. Now consider this example. Find the value of P of x is equal to 2x square minus 3x minus 2 at x equal to 1. So this is P of x. And what is the alpha given? Alpha is any real number, that is 1. So what we are supposed to do is, we are supposed to replace every x in P of x by 1. So here you get, therefore P of 1 is equal to 2 multiplied by 1 square. Since here there is x square, I wrote here 1 square minus 3 into 1. That is 3x means 3 multiplied by 1, and the last one is minus 2. So what do I get? 1 square is 1, 1 into 2 I get 2, minus 3 into 1 is minus 3 and minus 2. So here after calculation 2 and minus 2 gets cancelled. What is left is minus 3. Therefore, P of 1 is equal to minus 3. That means, how do I read this statement? Minus 3 is the value of this polynomial at x equal to 1. That is, P of 1 is equal to minus 3. Let's have a look at one more example. Find the value of P of x is equal to x square minus 3x at x equal to 3. Now what does this mean? The polynomial given here is x square minus 3x, and we are supposed to substitute every variable x by 3. Therefore, we have P of 3 is equal to, in the first place I have x square, so I wrote here 3 square minus 3 into x is 3 into 3. So 3 square is 9 minus 3 3s are 9, and 9 minus 9 is 0. So what do I conclude is that value of this polynomial is 0 at x equal to 3. Now if you compare both this, here the value is negative, here the value is 0. So there is something speciality about this 0. What happens to this polynomial when the final value is 0? We will see this in the next slide. 0 of polynomial. The real number alpha is 0 of polynomial if P of alpha is 0. So don't get confused between the word 0 now. 0 means the factor, okay, the factor which is satisfying that polynomial. So what does it say is that whenever you substitute any real number in the polynomial and your final value is 0, that means the whichever number alpha which you have substituted in this polynomial is called 0 of that polynomial, or it is called factor of that polynomial. Just go back to the previous slide. Now here value was minus 3 and here value of the polynomial is 0. That means I can conclude from these two statements that 3 is the 0 of this polynomial. But same thing I cannot conclude for this because I did not get here 0. So moment I get the value of any polynomial 0, that alpha which you have substituted is called 0 or the factor of that polynomial. So we come back to this slide. let's have a look at one problem. What is given here? Find the value of m. M is given. This m is unknown variable. We don't know what is the value of m. If one of the zeros of the polynomial x square plus mx plus 12 is minus 3. Now obviously we know that for any quadratic polynomial there are always two outputs or two zeros or two factors. Out of these two, one is given. So if one factor is given, that means definitely it will satisfy this polynomial. Okay? So since minus 3 is a factor, that means p of minus 3 will be 0, because it is already told in the question that minus 3 is one of the 0. So what we are supposed to do is that after substitution, find this value of m. Now it is given here, minus 3 is 0 of the polynomial x square plus mx plus 12. So what do we do in the next step is that we have to substitute the value. Since minus 3 is 0, we can straight away write this. Therefore, p of minus 3 is 0. Now what is polynomial? This is the polynomial. So wherever there is x, you substitute by minus 3. So you get minus 3 square plus m into minus 3 plus 12 is equal to 0. So minus 3 square is what? Minus 3 into minus 3 will give you positive 9, and m into negative 3 will give you minus 3m plus 12. So in the next step we get here 9, then negative 3m plus 12. Now just solve this. These are both constants, 9 and 12. So what do you get in the next step is that after adding you get 9 plus 12, you get 21, minus 3m is equal to 0. You can shift this term to the other side. So 21 will become negative 21. After cancellation, negative sign and 3, what do you get is that m is equal to 7. 3 multiplied by 1 is 3, 3 multiplied by 7 is 21. Cancellation of negative signs, m is equal to 7. So whenever this negative 3 is a 0 of this polynomial, m will be 7. Let's go to one more type of the problem where if x plus 2 is the factor of the polynomial x cube minus 2ax square plus 16, then find the value of a. Actually, the difference between the previous problem and this problem is that only the values of factor. Otherwise, the problem is same. In previous case, we were finding m, and in this case, we are finding a. But in the previous case, the factor was given directly as a real number. But here, it is given in terms of variable, that x plus 2 is the factor. So how to go about this problem now? Let's have a look. So we are starting with, let x plus 2 is equal to 0. So what do we get x as? X will be definitely minus 2. So actually the previous problem we started from here. So in this is the extra step. So we derive x is equal to minus 2. Now what we are supposed to do with this? Now we know that minus 2 is the 0 of the polynomial. So we conclude that p of minus 2 is 0. So p of minus 2 is 0. So next step is we are supposed to substitute this value in the polynomial. So let's substitute. So in the first place I have x cube. So wherever there is x, I will replace by minus 2. I get minus 2 cube minus 2a, again minus 2 square plus 16 is equal to 0. This is important. It should be equal to 0 because we know that minus 2 is a factor of that polynomial. So minus 2 cube is minus 8, minus 2 square is 4, 4 into this negative 2 is minus 8 again along with this a plus 16. Now just solve this, collect the like terms. Your constants are minus 8 and 16. So in the next step, you will get minus 8a, and minus 8 plus 16 will give you plus 8. Now solve this. After solving, you will get minus 8a is equal to, this positive 8 will become negative 8. So after cancellation, both this negative 8 and negative 8 will get cancelled. So you are left with a is equal to 1. So the value of this a for this polynomial is 1 when the factor of this polynomial is x plus 2. That is, x is equal to minus 2. Let's have a look at one more type of the problem in the same category, that is zeros of the polynomial. Determine whether root 3 is a 0 of the polynomial x square minus 3. What we are supposed to do is that we have to check whether this answer really satisfies this equation. Okay? So what we are supposed to do is that let this equation be equal to 0. Okay? Since we are finding the zeros, let this equation be equal to 0. Then what do you get next? You have x square is equal to 3. That is, negative 3 will become positive 3. Therefore, x is equal to plus or minus root 3. The square will change to root sign. Therefore, x is equal to plus or minus root 3. You will always get two answers since it is a quadratic polynomial. The first root will be positive root 3 and the second one will be negative root 3. And if you see, one of the answer, that is positive root 3, satisfies this condition. Therefore, root 3 is a 0 of polynomial. Okay? But this is just one method. I will show you also alternative method. You can go in reverse order. Put x is equal to root 3 in given polynomial, the way we had done earlier. So what do you get? The value of the polynomial, what do you get? So x square means root 3 square minus 3 is equal to, now root 3 square is 3 minus 3. So 3 minus 3 is 0. That means we are ending up with the value of polynomial as 0. That means whichever value we have substituted will be the factor of that polynomial. This is what we have just learned, that if value of any polynomial is 0, then the alpha which we have selected is called the factor of that polynomial. Therefore, root 3 is 0 of polynomial. You can use either of this method, either method 1 or method 2. Both are correct. Okay. Now let us see this problem. Is x plus 1 the factor of polynomial x cube plus 3x square minus 4x minus 6? Now again there is a similarity between this problem and the previous problem. In previous problem, direct value was given. Now here what is given is that x plus 1, a factor is given in form of variable. So like in the previous sum, first let us find the value of x. So what do I get? Let x plus 1 be equal to 0. So I get x equal to minus 1. Now let us substitute this in this polynomial, okay, and let us check whether this is a factor. When this will be a factor, it will be a factor only when value of this polynomial turns out to be a 0. If it is not 0, then this is not a factor, and if it is 0 after substituting this value, that means x plus 1 is a factor. So we have this polynomial p of x, x cube plus 3x square minus 4x minus 6. So let us substitute the value of x. The value of x is minus 1. So substitute everywhere. So you get minus 1 cube is minus 1, minus 1 square is 1, that is 3 into 1 is 3. Then minus 4 into minus 1 is positive 4, and last term is negative 6. So after you solve this, you get 0. See, 3 plus 4 is 7, minus 1 minus 6 is minus 7. So 7 minus 7 is 0. So we are getting the final answer as 0. That means this minus 1 is the factor of this polynomial. So we conclude, since p of minus 1 is 0, therefore x is equal to 1, that is x plus 1 is the factor or 0, both meaning is same, factor and 0 both means same, factor and 0 of the polynomial. Okay. Now let us go to find zeros of the polynomial. All this while we were checking whether given particular 0 is a 0 for that polynomial. But now let us find how to derive those zeros. Okay. Now it will be divided into 3 categories and we will specially focus only on quadratic polynomial. So quadratic polynomial in general form is ax square plus bx plus c, where a cannot be equal to 0. Now here there are 3 terms. So we will study for all the 3 terms, then next we will study for first and second term, and the last we will study for first and last term. So let us have a look at the first type. So I have a problem here, find the zeros of the polynomial x square minus 3x minus 4. So this is the problem which carries 3 terms, a, b and c. Okay. Now how to find zeros? So we are starting with let x square minus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. Now this we have learned in 9th standard, splitting the middle term, how to find the factors so that this minus 3 is splitted using the factors of 1 and 4. So how do we find factors? We have this coefficient as 1, this coefficient as 4. So 1 into 4 is 4, and now which factors of 4 will satisfy minus 3? And it is minus 4 and 1, because minus 4 plus 1 will give us minus 3. So in place of minus 3, what do I write is that minus 4 plus 1. So now group them. So in the first group, x is common, take it out. What remains is that x minus 4. Since x is taken out, x into x is x square, x into minus 4 is minus 4x. Here only 1 is common, so take it out 1 with the positive sign. Again you have x minus 4 in the bracket is equal to 0. Now if you see in this step, x minus 4 is a common bracket, pull it out. What is left? X plus 1 is equal to 0. So when we have a product equal to 0, we can either say the first bracket is equal to 0 or second bracket is equal to 0. So I have here x is equal to 4, that is negative 4 will become positive, and x plus 1 is equal to 0. So x will become negative 1, so that is positive 1 will become negative 1. Therefore the zeros are x is equal to 4 and x is equal to negative 1. So this is one kind of problem where b and c are negative. Let's have a look at the next problem. Here find the zeros of the polynomial x square minus 13x plus 36. Here last term is positive, middle term is negative. Okay. So let x square minus 13x plus 36 is equal to 0. Again let us find the factors to split minus 13. So 36 is having a factor 4 and 9, and negative 4 and negative 9 will give us negative 13. So I have x square minus 4x minus 9x plus 36 equal to 0. This I got from these factors here, minus 4 and minus 9. Again group them in 2. Then in the first group x is common. So x minus 4 will remain. Here please carry the negative sign so that the equation is balanced. So negative 9 is out. So again you get x minus 4 in the bracket. So x minus 4 is a common bracket. What is left is x minus 9. Again the product of two factors is equal to 0. So either one will be 0. So either x minus 4 will be 0 or x minus 9 will be 0. So what do I have? I have x is equal to 4 or x is equal to 9. Therefore, I have the zeros are x equal to 4 and x equal to 9. Let us have a look at one more example in the same type where all 3 terms are given, but here now all these 3 terms are positive. Okay? This is a solution. let x square plus 12x plus 36 is equal to 0. Again we are supposed to find the factors of 1 into 36, that is 36, such that I get 12. So which are the factors of 36 which will give me the middle term 12? That is 6 multiplied by 6 is 36 and both positive 6 and 6 will give me 12. So what do I do? In place of 12 I write 6 and 6. So again group them. In the first group x is common, take it out. What left is x plus 6. Between 6 and 36, 6 is a common factor, take it out. What is left is x plus 6. Now again here x plus 6 and x plus 6 is a common bracket, take it out. Again what is left is this x plus 6 in the second bracket. Again the factors of, product of two factor is 0, that means each one can be equated to 0 or the second one. So what do you get is x is equal to minus 6, or for this one x is equal to minus 6. Here both the roots are equal. Therefore the zeros are x equal to minus 6 and x equal to minus 6. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. To find zeros of the polynomial of the type ax square plus bx. In this category I have focused upon only the first two terms, first and second, a and b. And the example is find the zeros of the polynomial 2x square minus 6x. Now let's see this, whatever I have highlighted in red color here. Let 2x square minus 6x is equal to 0. So what will you do as usual? How do you solve the equations? You will shift this negative 6x to the other side, put it as positive 6x. You will cancel x, then you will cancel 2 ones are 2 into 3 and you will get x equal to 3. This is absolutely wrong method. Why? Because it is mentioned over here is that the highest degree of the polynomial is 2. So we need to have 2 zeros for this equation, but we will end up having only 1. So this is a completely wrong method. Please do not follow these steps. So let's have a proper look at the proper steps. Let 2x square minus 6x is equal to 0. What we are supposed to do is that rather than shifting the term, we are supposed to take the common out. So 2 and 6, the common is 2, and x square and x, the common is x. So what is left inside the bracket? Here x, because 2x into x is 2x square, and here it will be 3 because 2x into 3 is 6x. So I have 2x is equal to 0, or the second bracket, that is x minus 3 is equal to 0. So I have x equal to 0, because this what will happen here, x is equal to 0 upon 2 and 0 upon 2 is 0. So x is equal to 0, or here x is equal to 3. Since negative 3 will become positive 3. So I have two zeros here, x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 3. So this is a wrong method. Next is that find the zeros of the polynomial 5x plus 20x. So it's 5x square plus 20x is equal to 0. So in this 5x square plus 20x is equal to 0, 5x is common. So I have taken 5x out. So what is left is here x and here positive 4, because 5 4s are 20. So again I have two factors here, 5x is 1 and x plus 4 as second one. So either I can equate 5x is equal to 0, or I can equate x plus 4 is equal to 0. So what do I get in the next step is that x is equal to 0 and here x is equal to negative 4, because positive 4 will change to negative 4. Therefore, the zeros are x equal to 0 and x equal to minus 4. And this is the last type in this category where the first and the last term is given. So how to find zeros when first and last term is given? Let's have a look at some examples. Find the zeros of the polynomial m square minus 15. Now here the first term is m square and the last term is minus 15. So we are supposed to start with the same method. Let m square minus 15 be equal to 0. Shift this 15 to the other side. So it will become positive 15. Then find the square root, and since root 15 doesn't have any proper square root, so it will remain as root 15, and whenever we square it or we find a square root, it will always have two answers, one positive, one negative. So what do I have is m is equal to root 15 or m is equal to minus root 15. So these are the two zeros which I am getting here. One is root 15 and second is minus root 15. Let us have one more example. Find the zeros of the polynomial m square minus 169. Only difference between these two problems, the first which I had done just now and this is that in earlier case that was not a proper square, but this is a proper square. So let us equate it. So first I have m square minus 169 is equal to 0. Therefore m square is equal to 169. Just shift this number to the other side. So I have m is equal to square root of 169. The square will change to square root. Therefore what do I have? I have two answers. For square root I have plus or minus square root of 169 is 13. So I have two answers, m is equal to 13 or m is equal to minus 13. Therefore the zeros are m is equal to 13 and m is equal to minus 13. So this was a perfect square and the previous one was not a perfect square. And this is one more type. Find the zeros of the polynomial 18x square minus 2. If you see here, I have mentioned one coefficient for x square. So how to go about when you have a certain coefficient of x square? So let this polynomial be equal to 0. Therefore 18x square is equal to 2. So shift this 18 below here. So you get x square is equal to 2 upon 18. So after cancellation you will get x square is equal to 1 upon 9. Then similar method, square will change to square root and square root of 1 is 1 and square root of 9 is 3. And whenever we find square root, we have always two answers, plus and minus. So here the zeros are m is equal to 1 upon 3 and m is equal to negative 1 upon 3. So we have learned about how to find zeros of the polynomial, especially a quadratic polynomial, when you know when you are given 3 terms or when you are given first and second term or when you are given first and last term. Now in this we'll just focus upon the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients of quadratic polynomial ax square plus bx plus c. Now zeros, as far as we will concern, we will stick to these notations alpha and beta for these zeros, okay. And the coefficients in the quadratic polynomial are a, b and c is the constant. So we will focus on this only. Let us consider for all the further calculations, zeros we will denote as alpha and beta and the coefficients as a, b and c. So what we are going to learn is what is the relation of this alpha beta with a, b and c. So let alpha and beta be the zeros of quadratic polynomial ax square plus bx plus c. Zeros means it can be either be called as roots or it can be called as factors and it can be also called as zero. So all these three terms are same. So this quadratic polynomial will have two answers, alpha and beta, that is their zeros. Now let us relate. Then sum of zeros, sum means if you add these alpha and beta, then it is equal to minus coefficient of x upon coefficient of x square. Means what? Minus coefficient of x. If you see here, coefficient of x is b. So I have written here minus b. This minus sign is part of the formula. Then upon coefficient of x square. What is coefficient of x square? It is a. So we have minus b upon a. I repeat again, it is minus coefficient of x, that is minus b, upon coefficient of x square, that is a. So it's written here minus b upon a. This is the formula to find sum of zeros, that is alpha plus beta. Okay. Next is product of zeros. Product of zeros means we multiply these two answers, alpha multiplied by beta, and what is the formula here? Is constant upon coefficient of x square. What is constant? Constant is this last term in the polynomial. So it is c, okay, upon coefficient of x square. Coefficient of x square is a. So product of zeros, that is alpha multiplied by beta, is equal to c upon a. Okay. So these two formulas are very important for us for the further calculations. Let's have a look at simple problem. This problem is mostly for 1 mark. Find the sum of zeros of the polynomial 5x square plus 3x plus 10. Our first job is first identify what is a, b and c. So let's have a look. If you see here, a is 5, that is coefficient of x square, your first term. B is 3, that is coefficient of x, that is b, and the last term 10 is the constant. So you know what is a, b and c. Now focus on the main question. What is asked? Find the sum of zeros. And what is the formula? Just now I told sum of 0 is that minus b upon a. So sum of 0 is minus b upon a, and the last step is that you have to substitute this. These values are needed to be substituted by, be careful of this negative sign. This negative sign is part of the formula. B value is 3 upon 5 because a is 5. So your answer is negative 3 upon 5. This is your final answer. So this is one type of example where b is positive. Now I will show you another type of example where b is negative. Now how to go about that? So here is a sum. Find the sum of zeros of the polynomial 4x square minus 12x plus 5. Again, as I told you, the first step is to identify a, b and c. So I have a is equal to 4, b is equal to minus 12 and c is equal to 5. What is asked in the question? Sum of zeros. So I write the formula, that is negative b upon a. Now the main part is substitution. How do I substitute? See, take care. This minus sign is a part of the formula. What is b value this time? B value is negative 12. So substitute negative 12 here. Don't consider this minus sign for 12. This is part of the formula. This is a value of b. So negative into negative, positive 12 upon 4. Your answer will be like this. Positive 3. Negative into negative, positive upon 4, 12 upon 4 is 3. So your sum of 0 is 3. So you have to be careful when you select your b. First check whether it is negative or positive. This is one applicative type of question based on sum of zeros. Okay. So if alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial x square plus 6x plus 5, then find alpha plus beta the whole square. If you just see here, alpha plus beta means what is asked in the question? Sum of zeros is asked. Okay. So first we will apply what is a, b, c. We will find as a is 1. Since there nothing is written here, that means coefficient of x square is 1, that is a is 1, b will be 6 and c will be 5. So since alpha plus beta is asked, we are supposed to write sum of 0 formula, and sum of 0 is what? Minus b upon a. So what do I have? Alpha plus beta is equal to minus, b value is 6, so I have minus 6, a is 1. So minus 6 upon 1 will give me minus 6. But what is asked? Are we asked alpha plus beta only? No, we are asked to find the square of it. And what is square of alpha plus beta now? That is minus 6 square, and minus 6 square is 36. 6 into 6, 36. Negative sign multiplied by negative, the final output will be always positive. So, this is one of the applicative type question which may appear in the objective form. So, I have done a few examples of sum of 0. Let us move on to the second formula, that is product of 0. And earlier I told you product of 0 is C upon A, that is constant upon coefficient of x square. So, let us identify what is A, B and C here first. So, we have A is equal to 3, B is equal to minus 7 and C is equal to 15. Now, since product of 0 is asked, let us write the formula first. Product of 0 is C upon A. Let us substitute. C is given as 15, A is given as 3. So, 15 upon 3 is equal to 5. So, this was the problem where C is positive. Let us have a look at another example where C is given as negative term. Example is that find the product of 0 of the polynomial 2x square minus 3x minus 8. Okay? So, first as usual let us identify A, B and C. What do we have A, B and C? A is 2, B is minus 3 and C is minus 8. Since product of 0 is asked, let us write the formula. Product of 0 is equal to C upon A. Now substitute. C is negative 8, A is 2. So substitute, that is negative 8 upon 2. The final answer will be negative 4. It is negative 4 because one term is negative. 2 multiplied by 1 is 2. 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. So final answer is negative 4. And one applicative type question on product of 0. If the product of the 0 of the quadratic polynomial 3x square plus 7x minus 2m is 10, then find the value of m. In this problem, already the product answer is given. You have to only identify what is the value of this m, which is placed in the last term, that is constant. Okay? So, first what we will do is identify A, B and C. A is 3, B is 7 and C is negative 2m. Please consider entire term, negative 2m. Product of 0 formula is C upon A. So, we substitute now. Product of 0 is given as 10. The answer is already given. So, product of 0 is 10. C is given as negative 2m. A is given as 3. So, just cross multiply 10 into 3 divided by negative 2. Therefore, your m will be negative 15. So, here this product of 0 is given. Only thing you have to identify this last term. So, they have asked you to find value of m. So, the value of m is negative 15. So, we are at the end of session 1. In session 1, we covered first little basics which we have learned in standard 9. Then we covered for values, how to find the values of the polynomial. We also covered how to find zeros of the polynomial in different ways, when 3 terms are given or when 2 terms are given, like first and second or first and last. And in the last section we learned 2 formulas, that is sum of 0 and product of 0, and the relation between alpha and beta, those zeros and the coefficients of the polynomial. So, in the next session I will proceed with the further subtopics from the same lesson. So, we will meet in session number 2. Thank you.